It's 3 a.m. inside a nuclear submarine, and the captain is already awake. Not because his alarm went off, because someone just knocked on his stateroom door with a sonar report that couldn't wait. He pulls on his boots, steps into a passageway so narrow two men can barely pass each other, and walks to the control room. The sonar supervisor doesn't say much, he just points at the screen. There's a contact out there, running quiet, at a depth no commercial vessel has any reason to be at. The captain studies it. He orders a course adjustment, drops the submarine to ultra quiet, and waits. Slowly, the contact moves away. No escalation, no response, just a shadow in the water that never knew they were there. That was the first 8 minutes of his day. 155 sailors are somewhere inside this hull right now, sleeping, working, and eating all at the same time, in a steel cylinder with no windows and no way out. 47 days into a 77-day patrol, no sunlight, no contact with the outside world, just the mission and one man responsible for keeping all of it moving. But the sonar contact was only the opening. What comes next is what most people never see. By the time the captain steps away from that screen, the submarine has already been running without him for 6 hours. Watch teams monitored contacts, tracked position, and managed the nuclear reactor through the entire period he was asleep. The Ohio class doesn't pause for anyone. It can't. His stateroom is barely large enough for a fold-down bunk, a small table, and 2 chairs. That's the private space of the man commanding the most powerful submarine the United States operates. 6 hours of sleep, then boots on, then back into it, every single day for 77 days straight. Outside that door, sailors are moving quietly through narrow passageways, rotating in and out of watch stations, some heading to their bunks as others head to work. There is no natural light down here, no sunrise telling anyone a new day has started. The only clock that matters is the food being served in the galley. Pancakes mean morning, leftovers mean midnight. The captain doesn't follow any of those rotations. He sleeps when the mission allows it, and this morning the mission didn't allow much. Now he needs to know exactly what happened while he was gone, because before he can make a single decision, he needs the full picture. He doesn't get that picture by walking the submarine himself. He gets it by sitting down with the people who own each part of it. The engineer officer arrives first. Reactor status, propulsion, electrical systems. One unusual number in that report, and the captain's entire day reorganizes around it. This morning the report comes back clean, and there's a quiet exhale in the room even though nobody says a word. The navigator reports position and track. The weapons officer confirms the missile system is running correctly. 20 Trident II D5 ballistic missiles, armed and targeted, sitting in their tubes, ready. Sonar follows with the overnight contact summary, and the supply officer closes with anything the crew needs. The captain listens to all of it without interrupting. What he's building isn't just a status update. It's a complete picture of 155 people and one submarine holding together in the middle of the ocean. His job is to see where the edges don't quite line up and deal with it before anyone else notices. He finishes the last briefing, sets the papers down, and walks toward the crew. Because understanding the situation is only half the job. The other half is keeping 155 people ready to handle whatever comes next. He passes a sailor scrubbing a section of the passageway at 7 a.m., another running a systems check on equipment that was already checked 4 hours ago by the previous watch. That's how it works down here. Nothing gets assumed. Everything gets verified, then verified again. The captain watches the drill program more closely than anything else on the patrol. The XO schedules them continuously. Fire responses, flooding scenarios, reactor casualty procedures. When the alarm sounds during a drill, the captain stands back and observes. He isn't watching to see if the crew follows the steps. He's watching how fast they move, whether they communicate clearly, whether anyone hesitates. A crew that hesitates during a drill will hesitate when it's real, and inside a sealed hull at depth, hesitation costs everything. Between drills, 155 people are eating the same rotating menu, sharing 3 toilets and 2 showers per section, and waiting on 40-word messages from home that arrive every 10 days if they're lucky. The galley runs 4 meals a day to cover every watch rotation. Saturday is always burgers and pizza, the same every patrol, without exception. After 7 weeks underwater, that stops feeling routine. It becomes the one thing everyone looks forward to. The captain understands exactly what that means. He protects the small things deliberately, because down here, the small things are the only things keeping the crew steady. And on day 54, one of those things stops being small very quickly. If you're proud of these men who serve like this, drop proud in the comments. It's day 54. The captain is reviewing the afternoon watch report when the knock comes. It's the IDC, the submarine's only medical authority, and the expression on his face says, "This isn't a routine check-in. A sailor has been in pain since the previous night. The symptoms are pointing toward appendicitis, and that single word changes the weight of everything in the room. There is no surgeon on board, no hospital anywhere near them, and the only way to get outside help is to surface the submarine and transmit a distress signal, which means broadcasting their exact position to every anti-submarine asset in the region. 54 days of operational silence, gone in one transmission. The captain doesn't react immediately. He asks the IDC to walk him through everything, the symptoms, the timeline, what treatment options are available on board. Then he sits with it. Surfacing ends the mission. Staying down means trusting one corpsman to manage a condition that could turn critical without warning. He makes the call. They stay down. He trusts his man. There is no one to confirm that with. No outside voice, no supervisor available by phone or radio. Just the captain, the information in front of him, and the full weight of what happens if the decision is wrong. When the sailor stabilizes 2 days later, the submarine returns to its rhythm without ceremony. The next meal gets served. The next drill runs. The boat keeps moving. Somewhere between the decisions, the briefings, and the moments that don't appear in any report, the captain has to stop. Not because the submarine gives him space to, because a commanding officer running on no sleep starts making errors, and on a nuclear-armed submarine that carries 155 people and enough firepower to reshape a region, errors are not recoverable. His rest doesn't slow anything down. The XO holds daily operations. Watch officers stand their stations. Senior enlisted leaders stay close to their people. The submarine moves forward without him in the room because he spent 54 days building a crew capable of exactly that. But none of that changes what the inside of a long patrol actually feels like. The air is manufactured by machines. The smell of the carbon dioxide scrubbers becomes so familiar it stops registering. Familygrams arrive in 40-word blocks already screened before the sailor ever reads them. Every message carrying bad news reaches the captain first. He decides when the sailor hears it and how he frames it. No regulation covers that. It just lands on him, the same way everything else does. Somewhere in the submarine right now, a watch section is quietly relieving another, hatches closing carefully, boots moving through narrow passageways without a sound. The reactor running exactly as it should, the missiles ready.